Hey guys, so basically if you watched last week's video, you know I'm literally wearing the exact same outfit, the exact same makeup. Everything is the same because I'm basic and I'm too lazy to change everything up because I want to just film a bunch. So today is a day in the life week. This week is a day in the life week. So basically, if you guys know me, I'm vlogging. Whoops. I am a type 1 diabetic, and a lot of people don't really know what that is, so like justice for type 1 diabetes. This fan light is annoying. Yeah, so basically what I wanted to do is just kind of like show you guys what I do. So we're gonna kind of just go downstairs to where I keep all my medical supplies, and I'm gonna show you that kind of jazz. So yeah, let's go! Here's my doggo. He's gonna be joining us. But this is kind of type 1 diabetes. So type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease where basically my pancreas, which is an organ that produces insulin, no longer produces insulin. So this disease gets kind of like flip-flopped and miscommunicated. Like people think that there's only like diabetes and they think it's just what is my dog doing? Type 2 diabetes, since that's really all you ever see commercials for and stuff like that. So, justice for type 1 diabetes, hashtag, yeah. Anyway, so my pancreas no longer produces insulin, which breaks down the carbs in your body, so I have to give myself my own insulin for every time that I eat. So I'm just kind of gonna give you a little process. Day to day, I have to test my blood sugar every time that I eat. Before I go to bed, if my blood sugar is high or low, if I feel the symptoms of that. Every time I go and drive the car, yeah, and I have to give myself a shot every time I eat, every time my blood sugar is high, and right before I go to bed. So I'm just kind of going to go through the process with you. So the first thing I do is test my blood sugar. And I'm going to kind of show you guys everything. This video might be a little bit long, but I don't really care. This is where I keep everything. This is like my tester bag. So basically what I do is I take my blood sugar tester, it's got a little screen, and I take my blood testing strips and I take one out. Ooh, look at that blinding highlight! And I just kind of put one in the top of the tester. If I can do this backwards. So then it kind of like sticks out the top and it says like 25 on it because that's the number testing strip. And then I have to put this needle, you can see the little needle, if it would focus, there's a little needle there, in my actual testing, in my like Lancet device, that's what these are called. And I just do I go to my fingertip and I do that, and it just kind of makes a little hole in my finger. If you guys don't like blood, warning. And then I just kind of like get the blood out enough to fill up the strip. I just recently ate, so my blood sugar might be high. So that's like 3, 2, 1. 108, that's perfect. So like I like to keep my blood, the doctors like me to keep my blood sugar between 70 and 140. That's a good range for diabetics. Typically people who don't have diabetes, their blood sugar is somewhere between like 70 and 90. But like your body produces insulin, so like you have it a little bit differently. Basically if my blood sugar goes below 70, that's deemed low blood sugar. And then I need to eat carbs or sugar or drink something. Typically I just eat a granola bar or drink orange juice or something like that. And when my blood sugar gets low, it literally feels like I'm having an anxiety attack. I get all shaky and sweaty and I get anxiety and my words kind of slur and everything kind of gets dizzy. And then when my blood sugar is high, which is anything over 150, I get really thirsty, I get really tired. And then I have to give myself insulin to correct or to lower my blood sugar. So my blood sugar is 108, which is good. So like I don't need to do anything about that. So that's what I do every time that I have to test. I'm gonna just kind of like go through my whole process. The next thing I would do if I was eating something is I would give myself insulin, which is this big bad boy here. I'm not really looking in the camera, I'm sorry. So basically I open it up. And this is what the big bad boy looks like. Over here I keep my insulin shots. Over here is extra lancets and needles for my shots. And in the middle, I have granola bars, an icing tube in case I pass out, because if your blood sugar gets too low, I can pass out, possibly die. So like I keep that in there for field hockey because I play field hockey, and sports in the heat make your blood sugar drop. So if my blood sugar gets so low that I pass out during field hockey, they can just like stick this in my mouth and it's like, yay. And then I also have this for if I pass out. This is called a glucagon, and it's just basically a needle filled with sugar. So basically if I was going to eat something, I'd need to count the number of carbs in it. So like for instance, if I went to go eat an apple has a lot of natural sugars in it, so it's around 20 carbs. And my carb ratio is 1 to 9, which means for every 9 carbs in what I'm going to eat is 1 shot. So like for an apple, I'd give myself 2 units of insulin because 9 goes into 20 2 times. And these are insulin pens. There's 3 different ways of doing insulin, but I'm just going to show you guys the pens because that's what I do. So I uncap my insulin and I get my needle out. It's a really, really thin needle. I just take off the plastic bottom, take it, screw it on, take off that, take that off, and then it's a very, very fine needle. People are like, does it hurt? It's honestly so thin. It's not like a doctor's office needle. It's so thin that like you can barely even see it. Like literally, it's so thin. So what I'll do is, there's like a little dial here, if you guys can see that. So it's got like numbers on it, you know? So what I do is I prime it, which is just, I don't really know what that really does. And I get the 2 units out. I do 2 units to prime it. And then I would do like, if I was eating the apple, I'd turn the dial up to 2 and I'd give myself a shot in my arm. But I'm not going to do that right now because I'm not eating anything. So yeah. I have to get blood work every roughly 3 months. I go to the doctor every 3 months. Yeah. That's like a day in the life. It sounds really easy, but actually it's a lot scarier and it's a lot more to think about than what I'm explaining right now. I think about it a lot of the day just because when your blood sugar changes dramatically, then you feel a lot different drastically. Like my blood sugar gets lower a lot, so I get really shaky and sweaty, and it's like it's honestly one of the worst feelings in the entire world. And I hate to sound dramatic, and I hate to sound like pity me or blah blah blah, because that's not what I'm going for. I'm just trying to explain it to people who don't have it. My dog is sniffing my back. And now that I'm driving or I have my permit, I have to think about it a lot more then, because we don't want my blood sugar to get really low while I'm driving, like duh. And it's just, I don't know, you think about it a lot. It's kind of weird when you like meet new people and they're like, what are you doing? Are you doing heroin or something like that? Because I'm like, no, this is what I need to do to live. And people are like, why would you give yourself a shot? Like, that sucks. And I'm like, well, if I didn't, I wouldn't be alive. Like, that's like how I have to live. And it sounds so stupid, but it's really true. If I didn't give myself a shot, my blood sugar would be really high. I'd have a seizure and probably die. Yeah, I've had type 1 diabetes for 4 years. My 4-year diaversary just recently passed. So I was diagnosed when I was 12. And a lot of people ask me, like, how do you know? And basically, I was diagnosed June 27th of, 2013. So the months leading up to that, roughly April, I started just feeling really nauseous, and it was really uncommon for me because I have like never gotten sick in my entire life. So it was like, why does she feel like this? And there were a few occasions where I threw up and I didn't have a fever or anything. I just would throw up once and like that was it. I hate to say it, but I was going to the bathroom a lot, like urinating, and that's common because if your blood sugar is really high, it's trying to get the sugars out of your body. And yeah, so we went to my pediatric doctor, and they were like, we need to get you over to Philly, CHOP, like ASAP. And I went into the emergency room and they took my blood and they were like, yeah, you have type 1 diabetes. We waited for a few hours for them to get the results back. And I had to stay in the hospital for 3 days just to kind of learn how to deal with it. Currently, I'm looking into an insulin pump, which is attached to your body. It can go on like your arm or your stomach or something like that because that's where you give your shots. So I'm looking into that. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, and it's really often miscommunicate, like people think that type 1 diabetes is caused by eating too much sugar or being fat or something like that. Like, I've literally had people come up to me and ask me like, oh, are you so fat that you got type 1 diabetes? Like, no, that's not how it works. What is my dog doing? They don't know what causes type 1 diabetes. They just know that something causes your pancreas to die. I don't really know. So, like, they don't know why it's caused. And there's roughly 200,000 kids, I think, in the US that have type 1 diabetes. I think that's what the number is. But type 2 diabetes is caused by, like, lifestyle and eating habits and stuff like that. And if you work hard on your lifestyle and your eating habits, then you can counteract it and not have type 2 diabetes anymore, while type 1 diabetes, I have this for life. So this is just kind of like a day in the life video of having type 1 diabetes. I kind of went in depth about some things, but not a lot, so I might try and make another video about that some other time. If you want me to do that, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. I can't do anything without your thumbs. So, like, that's thumbs. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave a comment below. I will be sure to answer them. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Internet Flops. There's a big red button down here, and it's waiting for you to hit it, so you should totally do that. Cody's gonna join me in my outro. This is Cody. He's my dog. So, Cody, you ready? You ready? We hope you guys have an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing month, an amazing year, an amazing life. Love you guys so much. Cody, never forget it. And I'll see you next Saturday. Bye, guys.